Not this
Hello everyone, welcome to Data Gym once again. Today I'm just going to show you how to download and install your own personal copy of SAS. Recently SAS released some free softwares which anyone can access. So for free, so you can play with it with your data set, and I think it actually works. It works fine. So I'm just going to explain how you can get a copy, and we'll play around with it and see how it compares to what we've been using before now, which is this. So to get started, we want to come to this page. You see here, say SAS University Edition. It is not only restricted, it is not restricted to college students or teachers only. So it is the name university may kind of sounds like, oh no, you have to be in the university environment to have access to it. No, if you have an email address and you can confirm the email address, you remember your password, then you can successfully download it and make use of it. So this version, though it runs on your browser, does not actually require an internet connection. So so let's just scroll down a little to this page, to these boxes here. It says start by choosing your operating system. So which operating system are you running? Are you currently running? Are you running Windows? Are you running Mac OS? Are you running Linux? If you are running Windows, here is already selected as a light blue. If you are running Mac OS, you do select it. If you are running Linux, so but now, assuming you run on Linux on a Windows machine, so you select it, and it kind of shows you some default minimum, system requirements. That is, your computer must be Windows 7 and above, and it must have it must be 64-bit. To know whether your system is 64-bit, you can just check that one out on Google, and I think you should be able to know, find out without any problem. So, and the RAM must be 1 gig minimum, and you must have these browsers. So these are kind of very old. So it has to be Chrome 27 or later, Mozilla 21 or later, and the likes. So I think this page actually does a good job of explaining to you how to get the software, how to get it running, how to download it and install it on your VirtualBox. So the first step is to download a virtualization software, which is in this case a VirtualBox, and create myfolders folder on your computer. So I'll show you that right now. So let's go to the VirtualBox. You can come to this website, virtualbox.org/wiki/downloads. You should have this page, and here it tells us the current version of the VirtualBox. Interestingly, I want us to just take note here, because if you are running a 32-bit host, you can use this 5.2 version. So you can just I think you can come to all versions, or not all platforms. I think there's a place you can come to the old versions, and then you can okay, here you can come to, you can click this link, download it, and you can set it up. But starting from version 6, you have to have 64 gig. But the point is this: for these, we know from the requirement here that it has to be 64-bit. So by default, if you buy your computer, if your computer is if you're a couple of years old, like 2-3 years old, chances are that it is a 64-bit system. So you can find that out. You can just Google specifically about your machine and find out whether it is whether it is 32 or 64. So once you find that out, you can choose the host, pretty much like you did here, where you have to choose what operating system. So you can choose the Windows host, OS, Linux, and the other OS or OSs. Then for these, we choose the Windows host, we download it and install it. And another thing you should do, what you must do, is the extension package. In the most cases, I don't think it's necessary for this, but if you would have to host like Linux or any other operating system on your virtual machine in the future, I think it's good you have that installed so that you can use the full screen capability. So because you can use the full screen. So as I said, this is the new version, so you download it, install it. Once it is installed, you have something like this without this blue thing here, without this SAS University Edition here. Then once you've done that, you go back to SAS. Okay, you remember, if it is Windows, OS, or Linux, you click on Windows. If you have a Windows machine, pretty much the same for other operating systems. You have satisfied this condition here. You've downloaded the virtualization software. You know, one thing that is also very important when you download this, when you use this University Edition of SAS, is to know whether by default you have this virtualization capability on your computer enabled. So you can find it out, you can check, because if you download these, it may default to 32 bits if you don't have that virtualization enabled, or it won't even run at all. Yeah, I think it won't run at all. It will tell you don't have it enabled. So you can just Google for how to get your machine, how to activate that, how to enable the virtualization on your machine. I can imagine that some of us watching these tutorials, we have a different kind of computers, Dell, HP, Acer, or anything. So you should just Google specifically for your machine, and then you should I think you should find a lot of help on Google to enable that virtualization. So the next step is to download. So when you click on download, it takes you to this page. So you have a video here that kind of explains to you how to get that one done too. So you can come down here, download University Edition virtual hub. So to do this, you have to click on these, you have to do these, and then save. So you can just click on this, save link as. You see, it kind of yeah, it doesn't take me to where I'm going. So let me just click on this, and then it opens out a new page asking me to create a SAS profile. So this is very important, because for you to download it, you need to sign into SAS. Go to sas.com and create a profile. You enter your email, and then if you are already a member, or if you've already created your profile, you enter your email and your password, and you can continue to download the folder. But if you're a new user, this is where you come to say create profile. So just click on it, just fill in these details. You don't have to come from a university to use it, so fill in the details and say yes if you want to receive emails from SAS, or and also click I agree to terms, and you can create a profile. So as soon as you create a profile, SAS will send you an email that you should confirm your email to activate your profile. So upon the confirmation of your email, you will get a new window asking you to create your password. Then you can create your password, and then once you're done, you can come back here. I think one step further, yeah, you can actually come back here to enter your email next and your password, and you can have access to downloading that file. By the time you download it, I think the size is about 2.3 gigabytes, so that is a lot for some people. So you download it, and once you have it downloaded, then we can come right here. There are two ways to get it launched, to get it into your VirtualBox. So you launch your VirtualBox. There are two ways. One of it is just to come here to File and import appliance, and then you can click on this and go to where you download it, and just import, and click on import. By default import, and then you can come here to settings. Just click on settings. Once this is highlighted, you can see some basic information about your machine. So your new machine, which is your SAS University Edition, it is built on Linux operating system with Red Hat, and you see this the bit size here is 64. So yeah, 64, and then yeah, so you can import. Another thing there is just to go to where you download the file, assuming you have it here, and just double click it. Once you double click it, you should have something similar to these, with some little more details asking you to import. Just click on import, and you should have it. As soon as you import, you've imported it, you should have something like this. There are two ways to start it: get it highlighted and click on start, or just double click it. Okay, just double click it and it should start. So by start, I mean another window should pop up, which will load the SAS University Edition. So just be patient while it loads. It tells you no, that this is SAS, the power to know. So that's the logo. Then it loads. You see this white progress bar. So it loads. Once it's loaded, this should turn black, and then it should give us an address where we can enter on our browser to start our SAS University Edition session. So just be patient. Almost done, almost done, almost done, almost done, almost done. Okay, so that depends on your operating system. So on whether your system is fast, or whether you have 4 gig of RAM, whether you have 2 gig of RAM, it may be a little slower depending on what you have, depending on the specification of your machine. So voila, so we have this screen telling us to welcoming us to SAS University Edition virtual application, and then that is saying you can connect to SAS University Edition software by entering this address in your browser. So the address is http these // localhost colon 10080. So that, yeah, that is a port. So let's just go quickly to our I missed a step. So before you get to this step, there's something important that you need to do. So you need to come back to your settings and create a shared folder. So if you come back here, you should see what it tells you. So it tells you to, okay, this is the import part, and then you need to create a shared folder. This is where you can save a file or run your code and save them, and you can have access to them directly on your machine. So you can have access to them directly on your machine. So you can just read this up to know how to create that. So you confirm that this is not selected. So to do that, we need to just come over here to shared folder. I already created mine. If you haven't, just click on this box. It should ask you where you want to so if I click on this box, it's pretty much this way. It's a file path. Come here, okay, click on other, and once you're done clicking on other, you can go to the folder that SAS recommends that you create. So you have to create a folder called University Edition, called SAS University Edition, and inside this folder create another subfolder called myfolders, just as I've created here, SAS University Edition, and inside it you have SAS, you have myfolders. So let's go back to this machine and make sure you say auto mount. You click this and you click make mount permanent. So I've already done that. There's no need to do that anymore. So here is the directory. Here is my flash drive. This is the folder. This is the University Edition folder that is recommended that you create, and this is my folder that you also have to create, and then you can just say okay and you are good to go. So let's go back to this page. So remember, you have to add your localhost and the port. So let's go to our browser and do just that. So you come here to your browser, you just say local, say your localhost. I've already entered that, so I'll just still enter it again, and then you have 10080 as the port. So once you are done, you can just enter, and you should see a window like this saying welcome, start SAS Studio. The only part where you need the internet is to check for updates. Okay, so besides that, you don't need any internet to run these programs. So let's go to SAS Studio. You can also, if you prefer using running your Python script on this Jupyter Lab, you can just click this and it takes you there, for you to do a little Python programming. So you should start this, and then as soon as you start, you started, it launches a different another window telling you it's signing in. You look up here, it's still the local host, which means it's running locally on your computer, not on the internet, though you require a browser to run it. And then it's telling me initializing, and then voila, you have this window, which is a little different from what you have here. Okay, this is different from what you have here. So let's go back to the window. Remember, you created my folders. This is where this is the folder you create. You have just created. So how do I start? So what we're going to be doing is we can start from, do pretty much what we did here over there, just to get you, so I can just copy rather than typing it all over again. I just copy this over and just paste it here. Okay, oh, it tells me, you know what, I should use Ctrl V instead. I say okay, so let me use my Ctrl V. You see, this is pretty much done. You know, depending on which SAS you use, you get something differently. So here the color was yellow, but in the University Edition it's a little gold. So let's run this first. So I just clear this title, or just comment it out. Remember how I did it is your Control key and then a /, or you simply had an asterisk in front of the title, so that should comment it out. So let's run this. Just highlight what you want to run and click on the running man. So this is verbose, so to speak, because as you are running it, you're seeing it create the output. So here is a table for the cars, so the same that we got starting from Acura and then Audi. So this tells you, so this is the result. So when you go to the log, it tells you you have this observation, number of observations, and you have this number of variables, which is pretty much what we had in the previous interface as well. So let's print it. So it already gave us the output, so we can also, okay, let's just do what we did in the previous interface. So you run it depending on the speed or the capability of your OS, or depending on the specification, it can be a little slow or it can be fast. So here you have the same table that you had here, so the same table that you had here. So you see, same table. So so the same table that you had here. So you see, very clean. So one of the good things about this is that for people just starting to use SAS for beginners, this can be quite helpful, because it has a functionality that this doesn't have, and that is autocomplete. So let's just clear the entire screen, and we want to clear the entire screen. Okay, I want to just clear this. So I want to start typing. I want to create the same data set once again. So I start by saying data. You see, it shows me, or it asks what I'm going to do. So it knows that I'm creating a data step, and what comes first is data. So as soon as this pops up, I will just say enter. So the name of the data set is cars. We had a semicolon, and then I want you to set. So you see, it shows set. You can say enter. SAS help. Oh, sorry. Give it a space. SAS help. You see the SAS help? It just pops up. Dot, and it tells me what am I looking for. It goes to the SAS help folder and asks, oh, what data set are you looking for? So I will just say cars. Let me start typing. You see, as soon as I type the C, you see the cars shows up. So you click, you end with a semicolon, and then you just run. You see how easy that is here. So you can indent this by just coming here and clicking on the tab key. So you run, you are getting the same table as we had in the previous case. So another thing we did in the previous interface was we printed. So we have proc. You see, it gives you proc what? Proc print. You see, you can just navigate down, clicking your down arrow, and you can say yes, and then you say data. If you say yes, it asks you what data do you want to print. Because the cars is the recent data set that you created, is also giving you suggestion. You can just double click on this. You can just click on this, yes, and then you can run. Okay, so let's highlight it and run it. click on this running man. So you see, so for a beginner this can be very helpful. So if you need to do anything, you know, so here if we say where, so it's a when or where, so we need the where statement, where make equals, so make equals equals howdy, like we did in the previous tutorial, and then we can end it with a semicolon. So we run this, and then you run both together. We have only data set for howdy, you see. So I think it's a good thing for beginners to start from here. If you really learning to use SAS, this can be very helpful. So once you're done, you can close it. So you remember here it tells you not to close this window until you are finished using SAS Studio. If you close it, you're going to lose your session. So once you're done, just if you want to save your code, you can just save your code, and you should save, name it here. Okay, let's save. What do you want to save? What name do you want to give it this program? I want you to save it in this folder. I just say save. So you see, it's saved already in this folder, and then the next time I come, I just double click it. I should have this. So once you are done saving, you can just, yeah, you want to leave, yes. Here, bye bye to SAS Studio. You can click this, you can close it, and you come back to your virtual machine. Okay, here you can close it as well. So once you click close, it asks you whether you want to save the machine state or you want to power off the machine. I will just encourage you to just power off the machine. Once it is powered off, you can close your VirtualBox, and that's all. So remember, start off from SAS, going to this page, try to know what is good for your operating system, and the basic requirements are stated here, and then you can follow these boxes here to get to learn how to start your SAS University Edition. So then you create a profile. Remember, if you are a new user, you have to create a new profile. You have to go to your email to confirm it, and then you create a password that you can come back here and use the email you use in creating the profile here, and then the password before you can have access to download it. Once you download it, you can do this, or you can do this before downloading the SAS. You can download your VirtualBox, install it, and then once you're done downloading the SAS University Edition, which is about 2.3 gigabytes, you can just upload it onto your virtual machine. And remember, I also mentioned that if your virtual machine is not if the virtualization on your machine is not enabled by default, you need to look for a way to enable it. If not, this software won't work on your computer. So if you run it and it works fine on your computer, it means that the virtualization capability of your system is of your operating system is or of your machine is enabled. So you can go ahead with the next steps that I explained earlier. So thank you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.